G'day everyone, and hello from Sydney, Australia. I am Simon van Rijswijk, first author of the UK Lived Experience of Persistent Pain Project, or UK-LEP, which was published in the British Journal of Pain in 2023 and supported by an educational grant from Pfizer. I was invited by Jess to review the study for you today in your important meeting. Due to the time difference between the UK and Australia and my availability, I cannot be with you live today. So I'm very happy to prepare this presentation for you. And I'm also happy to answer questions by email. So please feel encouraged to email those to me. All right, so let's get into it. And let's first ask, why was this study conducted? Although medical scientists and healthcare professionals work tirelessly to solve the physical origin, the diagnosis, the epidemiology, and the optimal management of chronic non-cancer pain, this essential and important work nonetheless cannot capture the full meaning of a person's lived experience or burden of pain. This particular problem, it seems to me, is about meaning. Many patients, we think, do not find clinical data analysis or discussions about pain meaningful. On the other hand, clinicians are not looking for non-clinical types of meaning and might, for this reason, bypass the patient's lived experience of pain. So for these reasons, we think the lived experience of pain is a blind spot in pain management, and we need more publications on this topic in the literature. Our study had three aims. First, we wanted to bring together published research on the lived experience of a range of chronic pain conditions. From this research, we wanted to establish common themes in the lived experience of chronic pain. Finally, we wanted to assess the relevance of these themes through a UK survey. How did we conduct the study? Well, we searched 4 bibliographic databases to identify publications that investigated the lived experience of chronic pain and its impact on daily life. From this analysis of publications, themes were identified, and in collaboration with 2 patient and public involvement representatives, we together created 20 survey statements. And so from this collaboration, the main findings of the study were as follows. So from our analysis of the literature, we identified and screened over 1,300 titles, and following our inclusion criteria, we included 20 publications in the final analysis. From these 20 studies, we derived 8 common themes on the lived experience of chronic pain. First, theme 1, my pain gives rise to negative emotions. Theme 2, pain changes my life and me. Theme 3, challenges adapting to my new normal due to chronic pain. Theme 4, the negative effects of pain management strategies. Theme 5, hiding and showing my pain to avoid adverse judgments of others. Theme 6, the importance of receiving a medical explanation of my pain. Theme 7 and 8, how my pain affects my relationships to those around me. And finally, theme 8, the challenges that I encountered working while in pain. And the second observation about these data is that themes 1, 2, and 3, and 6 were well represented in the 20 studies that we analyzed. Themes 4, 5, 7, and 8 were less well represented. Here are some quotations from the themes that we derived from our analysis. From theme 1, my mood fluctuates between hope and despair, and I can see that this affects the people around me as well as my own mental health. Living with pain has made me a different person, and I mourn the me I used to be and the things I used to be able to do. That's from theme 2. Theme 3, after living with pain for some time, I understand and accept that I will not get the diagnosis I was hoping for, and that I need to adapt my lifestyle and accept that I live with pain. Okay, now moving on to the survey findings. So once again, each theme that we identified from our analysis of the 20 studies was developed into 1 or 2 survey questions. The survey was then shared with the pain community over a 2-week period in November 2021. We had over 1,200 survey completions, and the survey respondents who completed the survey were mostly from England, mostly female, almost all had a pain diagnosis. 50% had a diagnosis of fibromyalgia, and 22% had a diagnosis of endometriosis. Looking now at some of the survey data, most respondents agreed or strongly agreed that their mental health had deteriorated due to pain, and that they were missing out on life, and that they were no longer the person they once were. In addition, many hid their pain to avoid the adverse judgments of others. 84% wanted to communicate more effectively with others about their pain, a significant problem. And finally, fewer than half of respondents felt that their pain management strategies had improved their mental and social well-being. And because mental and social well-being is often the bottom line for patients living with chronic pain, clearly we need to do more work here to improve pain management. So taking the 8 themes that we identified and the survey, taking those together, what are the conclusions that we can infer? People with pain, their significant others or carers need more knowledge, and they need more assurance to seek advice, education, or treatment for understanding and managing their pain. Secondly, education and continuing training in the biopsychosocial model of pain should provide healthcare professionals with an accurate understanding of pain, and also importantly, a readiness and sensitivity to understand and support the patient and what they are going through in experiencing chronic pain. And finally, there needs to be a recognition and personalized clinical management for people living with chronic pain, and that this should be a health priority in the UK. And finally, before I leave you, just we should acknowledge that every publication has strengths and limitations, and these should be recognized. One strength of our study was the inclusion of PPIE in our research design, conduct, and analysis, which is very important for ensuring that stakeholder views are represented. Another strength was the validation of our findings for the survey, which, as I said, confirmed the clinical relevance and importance of qualitative research on pain. For example, 22% had diagnosed endometriosis, which is sometimes described as the missed disease due to its unclear etiology or inconsistencies in diagnosis and management. Turning now to some of the limitations of the study. We analysed only English language studies, so that is a limitation. Secondly, there is a lack of representation in the sample participating in the survey compared with the broader UK population living with pain. For example, in our survey, 50% had fibromyalgia. As the survey was sent to particular chronic pain organisations, some pain conditions may have been overrepresented, as I said, fibromyalgia, and others such as joint pain or low back pain were underrepresented. So there we go, some strengths and limitations of our studies. And I'll leave you today with one final thought, which is this is completion of phase 1. Let's now work together to produce more high quality research for phase 2, and we look forward for you reaching out to us to commence this next phase. So thank you again, and thank you for listening.